Now, like a lot of you already know, the recent story surrounding singer David, spelled D4vd, is still dominating headlines. Police are still deep into their investigation of what really happened to 14-year-old Celeste Rivas, the young girl who was tragically found in the front trunk of the Tesla registered to the singer. Even though there's still no breakthrough information in what the authorities are treating as a homicide case, there have been a lot of things happening around this story and around David himself. So the goal of this video is to keep you fully informed with the verifiable details about what's going on right now with this David story. So with that being said, let's get into it, shall we? Let's run through a quick recap of what we know so far so everybody's in the loop with this story. Most of you probably know the basic gist of it, but for anyone who's not fully caught up, on September 8, headlines broke that an unidentified person had been found in the front trunk of a Tesla registered to the popular singer David, spelled D4vd. At that point, the remains were classified.
Now, there's no way in hell that you get a cut up body get found in your car and you don't go to jail. So already, FBI, open up! It's some shit going on that I can't speak on. But I digress, folks. That's already weird. Folks ain't go to jail. He ain't get on no bail. Fucking motherfucker ain't put no ankle monitor on him. Nothing.
As a Jane Doe, which is a term investigators use when they haven't yet confirmed the victim's identity. But later it was confirmed that the victim was a young girl named Celeste Rivas. Her body was discovered after the Tesla had been towed to a Hollywood impound lot, and when the staff noticed a foul odor, they opened the front trunk and made the discovery and then called the police. Not long after, detectives executed a search warrant at a Hollywood Hills home where David had been staying, and they seized multiple electronics as part of the investigation. At the same time, the medical examiner reported that the body inside was severely decomposed, to the point where it was very difficult for them to determine exactly what had happened to the little girl or how she died.
Damn. I wonder when the last time she was seen there.
Know that neighbors told investigators that the car had been parked in that spot for over a month before it was finally towed away. Police also stated that the body had been in that Tesla for an extended period of time, though they haven't specified exactly how long. There's plenty of other details I could add, but I wanted to give you the essentials here. No need to drag this out because I know you got some other shit to do, okay? Ever since investigators were able to figure out the identity of the victim, their focus has been on piecing together what really happened to this little girl. During this time, the remains of Celeste Rivas have been with the medical examiner's office for review, but just a few days ago on Wednesday, her body was officially released back to her family. Now, that doesn't mean the investigation is over. In fact, the manner of her death, exactly how she died, still isn't public. At this stage, investigators almost certainly know more than we do, but nothing has been shared with the public yet. And while
I wonder if they can find out about that type of shit though, because her body was cut up. So I don't know how they waiting to see how she died first before they arrest him. Man, I guess, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I know if anybody, let's put it like this, folks. If anybody in this motherfucking chat, me included, if any of y'all had a body in y'all car, y'all getting arrested, gang. I don't give a fuck what nobody talking about. You're gonna get arrested. Now, they might let you out with an ankle monitor or something. I ain't saying you going straight to prison and do a life sentence. No, of course not. That ain't how it works. But why hasn't he been arrested? What's for damn certain, as I've said 122 times on 122 videos about this nigga, what's for damn certain is he was a weirdo talking to a little girl. So lock his ass up for that. I want to put y'all on to some of the easiest money you'll ever make in your life. Freecash.com is a website that allows you to literally get paid hundreds of dollars just for playing video games on your phone. All you need is an email and a password. Follow the directions on each of the campaigns and you can earn at least $100. My personal favorite game to play was Sunrise Island, and when I clicked on it, they had a $370 bonus. I got $370 just for playing a video game on my phone. On average, it only takes about 17 minutes for most people to start earning money on freecash.com. So if you need some free, easy, extra money, go to freecash.com, click the QR code right here, or go in the description below and start getting that bag. You did?
Very quiet about the deeper details.
I'm pretty sure her GoFundMe is still in the, it's still in the description. Her GoFundMe. I'm pretty sure she only need like a few more $1,000. So if y'all can go donate $5, $10,
of this case, the big question in the middle of this entire thing is David's connection to Celeste. Her mother publicly stated that Celeste had a boyfriend named David. Multiple witnesses have also testified that they've seen them together, and there are even pictures and live stream footage confirming that they did in fact know each other. What remains unclear, however, is the true extent of that relationship. Law enforcement has not confirmed whether David will face any charges based on this connection. What we do know is that investigators are using every resource available to figure things out, and every piece of information that'll give them the answers to what they're looking for. The police chief himself confirmed that detectives are actively looking into the connection between David and Celeste, along with every other possible angle tied to the case. So that's obviously very interesting. We're going to have a separate conversation about the relationship between Celeste and David in another video. But right now, let's shift the focus to this. The last time we talked, I mentioned how authorities executed a search warrant at the Los Angeles property where David had been staying. The place was allegedly being rented by his manager, and it was the last spot David was staying at. When detectives searched the property, they walked out with multiple devices and electronics. And not only that, the house also has security cameras installed, which recorded everyone going in and out. At this point in time, investigators most likely have that footage in their possession. Now, when it comes to the search warrant, we've also learned that police are looking into the possibility that Celeste may have been killed inside the home David was staying at. And for anyone who's ever watched the show Dexter, which by the way is goated, you might remember how Dexter used a spray when he was checking a crime scene. And that spray is called luminol, and it makes even the slightest traces of blood visible under certain lighting. According to LAPD's Scientific Investigation Division, during the 12-hour search of the property that David was staying at, detectives actually used luminol to check for any blood evidence. Because the body was discovered not far from where he was staying, investigators are clearly looking into whether something happened inside. 9 times out of 10, it for sure did. And I ain't know that they like the owner of that crib had their own cameras installed. So, 9 times out of 10, bro, that her body left that house, went from the crib to the car, and it stayed there for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Which is weird to me. That's what's weird to me. Because somebody was smart enough to kill, and I ain't saying smart enough because I don't want to be like, act like I'm like bragging on the motherfucker. You do your homework on bragging on the motherfucker. But somebody somewhere had enough sense to, if they was gonna kill this little girl, do it somewhere where nobody seen them. It wasn't too much of a crime scene. They chopped her body up, which sounds fucking disgusting and crazy. You know what I'm saying? They put the body in the car. I'm trying to figure out, like, what kind of shit you was on. Why would you leave the body in the car? Like, it seemed like whoever did this was calculated and was not no dummy. You feel me? It wasn't like no broad day shooting downtown and no shit like that. Like, it seemed like some intricate, planned out murder weirdo type shit. They said the cameras wasn't recording. See what I'm saying? That's not suspicious. That ain't suspicious. He being set up because that's just stupid. He make the song a 24-year-old and followed his music. Man, I don't know what y'all talking about. Chop the body up. Yes, bro. Yes, bro. The body was found in his trunk, cut up, dismembered, bro. Like, it wasn't like no body just in, no, nigga. They dismembered. I don't know how, what they did or what they cut up or none of that shit, but. On top of that, they also checked sink drains in case there had been any attempt to wash away any blood. They also swept the entire home for fingerprints and collected hair samples. So, for example, Celeste's hair is found inside. That could be a crucial piece of evidence. So right now, investigators are piecing together a timeline of Celeste Riba's final days. They're going back in time through her last known movements, and they're also digging into devices seized from the home that David was staying at. Questions like, where was she last seen alive? Who was she with? And what led to her disappearance? And obviously, what exactly did they do to this little girl? And speaking of her last movements, I did some digging and I came across surveillance footage that shows what are believed to be the last images of Celeste before she vanished from home. The footage comes from a liquor store just down the street from her family's house in Lake Elsinore, California. Security cameras there timestamped just after 7 a.m. on March 19th 2024,
probably acting
captured
like
a
she was going to school and
person in a black
ran
hoodie
away
and
when she
white
did
pants.
that.
Celeste's own family actually identified that the person was her. And in the video, you can see her jogging around the corner, switching between walking and running before disappearing from the frame. The store owner, a man named Eli Nadaf, later said that Celeste's sister actually came into the store that day asking to review the surveillance footage to check if Celeste had run away.
Right.
When she missing first time, her sister come in here, asked me, and we start looking at the camera to find out where she go and if we can find anything to get her back.
When her sister saw the footage, she confirmed it was her, and Nadaf gave the video to the family in hopes it would help them find her. And here's something important.
Hellflame said the nail should have said it all and bloody gore-loving creeper. Do your homework on bloody gore-loving creepers. The nails, the bloody clothes. He always talking about murder and weird shit. I told y'all when YNW Melly came out and he had a song called Murder on My Mind, and his song was called, and he had an album called Melly versus Melvin. Then right after that, he dropped the song, I got mixed personality. I said, this motherfucker crazy. Did a song with Kanye. This motherfucker right here crazy, dude. And nobody wanted to believe what Mako was saying. Now he pop up killing his friends and everybody like, you was right. I told people Melly was crazy. I told people, ain't nobody want to listen to me. I wasn't even big on YouTube when I was saying this shit. But I said it.
Wasn't the first time Celeste had ran away. It's also been confirmed that she left home back in January 2024, just a few months before this case turned into an active missing persons investigation. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to drop a little like for the algorithm, okay? And make sure you tap in with me by subscribing so I can keep you fully informed on this David story. Continuing, so now let's go over some of the other things happening around this story. Not necessarily the investigation itself, but details that are still very important. Starting with the testimonies of people who allegedly saw David and Celeste together. According to people who partied with and knew singer David, a lot of them were under the impression that Celeste was his girlfriend, and many of them say that they were shocked when the news came out that she was only 14 years old.
Y'all gotta stop that narrative, bro. Stop acting like y'all didn't know this little girl was a little girl. Anybody in the chat, look at me. I'm 26. Anybody in the chat, look at me and think I'm 14. It's not a fucking single soul on this earth that'll look at me and say I'm 14. So stop trying to tell me we done seen pictures of the little girl, bro. She looked like a little girl. All y'all coming out trying to talk about some, oh, we didn't know she was that young. Bullshit. I ain't trying to hear that. You in a club full of 1,000 parties and all this shit. Everybody in here grown. You trying to tell me no? None of y'all looked at this. She looked like she 12. None of y'all said that. Y'all know the pictures is online, right? We can see. Nobody questioned.
Okay. From the LA music scene told TMZ they saw both of them at parties and hangouts, and to them it looked like they were a couple. So these people who seen David and Celeste together, they were like, oh, that's a couple right there. That's what they thought. They thought that they were just generally together because I guess that's how they were moving, right? We also found out that some of these people actually thought that Celeste was a University of Southern California student. Shout out to USC. Friends believed she was around 19 years old because that's how she presented herself, apparently. And here's where it gets even more interesting, okay? Because
they also said that they had a tattoo party, and the first time the tattoo lady came over to the tattoo party, she looked at the girl Celeste and said, I'm not tattooing her. She looks 13. And guess how old she was? 13. This is the first time this lady seen her face. She said, I'm not tattooing her unless she show me an ID. They said David was getting mad. He ended up calling somebody else who ended up doing it. You know what I'm saying? This nigga do look like Lil Reese, though. They do your own work.
According to law enforcement sources, Celeste was apparently able to move around so freely because she had multiple fake IDs, all in an effort to appear much older than she actually was. So that would explain why people assumed they were together. If David showed up at an 18 plus function and Celeste was with him, most people probably just thought nothing of it, right? Now let's talk a little bit about the Tesla itself, because there's actually a private investigator, a guy by the name of Steve Fisher, who managed to obtain photos of the Tesla 5 days before the body was discovered. And 3 days before it ended up at the impound lot. Here's what we know, okay? A complaint was first made about the car on August 26th. And just explain for my international viewers, because not everybody's American, right? When someone makes a complaint like that, it usually means the vehicle has been left unattended for too long and is being reported as abandoned.
So August 26th, somebody already complained about the car being there.
At that point, there was no mention of any kind of odor coming from the car. On August 27th, just 3 days later, an officer inspected the car. Then on September 3rd, it was ticketed. A couple of days later, on September 5th, the Tesla was officially towed, and by September 6th or 5th, I believe it was actually registered at the impound lot. Now, one key detail here, the car was not reported stolen at the time, okay? Very important. So this timeline suggests that the Tesla was just sitting there unnoticed, even after being reported as abandoned. Nobody flagged it as stolen. Nobody connected it to anything bigger until it finally got towed and that discovery was eventually made. Now, one thing that really makes you wonder is, how come there was no smell reported at the time when that first complaint was made? It could be that how do you say that word? Decomposition? Decomposition. I'm sorry. English is my third language. My apologies. It could be that.
Damn, nigga, for real? English your third language? Lil Reese Jr.?
Decomposition. I'm sorry.
It don't sound like it. Shit.
English is my third language. My apologies. It could be that the decomposition process hadn't fully started yet, which would explain why nobody noticed an odor back then. But that's something investigators are obviously looking into right now. And until we get the official details, all we can do is note how unusual that part of the timeline really is.
That's
now,
weird.
Let's also touch on this photo right here, okay? It's gonna stay on the screen for like 2-3 seconds. Obviously, I blurred the woman's face, okay? See this photo right here? Okay, good. Let's also touch on this photo right here that started circulating online of a mystery woman at one of David's shows in the DMV, Maryland. Shout out to Maryland. Shout out to the DMV, okay? Some people are claiming that this was actually Celeste. And from the research I've done, that actually was not her. The woman in the photo does look very, very similar, but it's been confirmed she was not Celeste, okay? Now, shifting the conversation to David's career itself, because the reality is he's actually bigger than ever in the middle of all this, right? Recently, David actually had the biggest streaming day of his career on Spotify.
Look, they said he streamed 12 million streams in one day, nigga. And that's just Spotify. The fucked up part about it is he making a lot of money off this shit. That's the crazy part.
Pulling in over 12 million streams in a single day. That's crazy. And I think insane. A lot of it just comes down to the curiosity factor. I mean, a lot of people are just now finding out about him because of this story, which is pushing his name further into the spotlight. So that's where we're currently at in this David spelled D4vd story. Right now, we're still very much in the dark on a lot of the crucial details. I know a lot of people are frustrated with the lack of answers, but cases like this take time, especially given the gravity of the situation. Also, let's not forget a little girl's life was lost, okay? And investigators have to make sure they build this case carefully if they want to hold the right person accountable, whoever that person may be. It's also worth noting that David himself hasn't said anything publicly, which honestly does make sense. At the end of the day, this is an active investigation, and his lawyers are probably advising him to stay quiet. On another note, I've been seeing a lot of misinformation about this case going around, and I really want to urge other creators and commentators, don't spread misinformation just for clicks. A child's life was lost here, and the focus should be on accuracy, not sincerity.
I ain't gonna lie though, bro. You don't know what's accurate, gang. You know what I'm saying? I get what niggas be saying, but like, you don't know what's accurate, bro. I don't know what's accurate. Jamie said, I never knew who he was until this shit. Me neither. I ain't never heard of him, seen his face before. None of that. You know what I'm saying? Ever in life.
Sensationalism. I'm personally invested in finding out the truth about what happened to Celeste because a little girl lost her fucking life, bro. It's only the right thing to do. And my goal whenever I speak on a story is only to give you the facts, not speculation, just what we know. With that being said, if you...
I don't know, gang. This is some weird shit. Way too much time to get arrested. Any other gangster rapper would have been arrested so fast. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying. I ain't saying sentence him, throw away the key right now, give him the death penalty. I ain't saying that, bro. But Any other rapper, bro, any nigga, any whatever going on, bro, any random regular person, if somebody finds a cut up body in the front trunk of your car, you is going to jail. You feel me? And I feel like they bogus as hell right now for even the way they approaching this shit is just way too casual, bro. It's like way too like, oh yeah, whatever, this, that, the third. Like, you know what I'm saying? They don't have enough. I mean, I guess, like I said, they don't have enough to sentence him to life. They got enough to arrest him and put on an ankle monitor while they investigate or something. You feel me? They probably don't got no evidence against him. Okay, the evidence is the body was outside of your car, outside of your house in your car. Like I said, I'm not saying to put him in prison, start the trial. I'm just saying, they said they had him in for questioning. You know what I'm saying? So they very much could just be waiting, stacking up evidence. But why they ain't lock him up for being a weirdo? Why they ain't lock his ass up for openly dating a 13-year-old girl since she was 10, 11 years old? Why they ain't lock him up for that? Why ain't they lock him up for harboring a runaway girl? They ain't lock niggas up for way less, bro. That's all I'm saying. They don't